Here on lichess and Twitch, International Master Will Paschall with Ponda. Happy April Fool's Day. Introducing new chatter announcements. So what's up, everybody? I was going to announce that Bob died, but unfortunately he showed up. There goes that plan for April Fools. What else can we do? I don't know, but today anyway, we've got our London system stream. We're playing the London system and Slav every single game with both colors. So, excellent. All right, ready to get started? I'm going to grab a victim from the community. Play, create game. All right, lobby. What do we have here? Just provisionally rated players. The lichess has a very, very funny and believable April Fool's joke. Bob's too strong. Too strong to start the day. All right. Give me white. Yes. The greatest thing about the London system is that we can combine two bad openings into one. So if I can play the very passive bishop f4 and add to that the Jabava idea of putting the knight on a bad square in front of the pawn, like one of my opponents did yesterday, we can actually incorporate two bad openings into one game, which is better than one, I guess. Like Grandmaster Jabava. Now he's already beaten me to the punch, getting his knight on a bad square here on c6. Bob actually takes the game into a Chigorin. No, Bob. I want to put my knight on a bad square first. Normally I would play e3 in that position, I think. I once had a game where I played knight f3. Yeah, we had a tournament yesterday. In the rapid tournament, we had the bishop f4, knight c3 attack against me. Now the critical question. This is basically, it's the four knights game on the other side of the board. London wins by force. Now he has to play the four knights, the fried liver. It's a queenside fried liver attack. Very advanced concept. You should just play it, the bishop f5, Bob. It's like a Traxler variation. What are you doing? This Traxler allowing knight takes c7 check, king d7. That's the main line, probably. Bob basically resigned in a very interesting position. The queenside Traxler here. Bishop f5, knight takes c7 check, king d7 with tremendous development in exchange for sacrificing in exchange. That's variation A, where black is only minus 3.7. And then variation B, of course, which is forced if you want to play sanely with e5. But this is a totally ridiculous resignation. This gambit is actually looks playable. Bob is not here to be serious. You know, in all honesty, this is a reasonable position. I mean, I guess you're sacrificing a pawn, but it's nothing out of the ordinary. It loses a pawn. Sacrifice is the word. Bishop takes e5, knight takes e5, pawn takes e5. It doesn't seem that bad. You know, playable. All right. Next victim. By the way, game I had yesterday in our wonderful London system, which is the best opening ever. We had a game yesterday against some kid, and he played this. The London system. What a great opening. And then knight c3. So both pieces are... Okay, against d6 is a little better. Knight c3 against d5 is really bad. So I messed up here yesterday. I forgot my own preparation. I was supposed to play the check defense. This is a really good move. I forgot what I was doing and I played b5 yesterday. It's actually a TN. You guys want to see something wild? No, Bob, I'm not interested in your cheesy friends, or promoting other streamers. So at least the ones that aren't my friends. But anyway, do you guys want to see something wild? So this position has never been reached in a master game, according to this semi-reliable opening explorer here on lichess. But the funny part is we're playing chess today. So the funny part is this is no games. But if you go forward and you start to play the middle game and we keep going, at move 9 it transposes into like modern defense. Here it's modern. So move 9 now I'm following players like Krasenkov and Conquest. And then if you go even further, watch this. It drops off the map again at move 10 and it stays off the map. But watch what happens now. In this game, after move 15, it's move 17. How crazy is this? At move 17 in random blitz game, we transposed to Ostolich against Planinich from 1978. And I mean, given the number of possibilities of games and possibilities and an unlimited number of combinations of moves, what is the statistical chance of that happening? You know, like by a completely different move order reaching the exact same position. I mean, how many positions are possible in chess? You know, billions. And I realize it's only move 17, but it's kind of unbelievable that we reached this Grandmaster battle from 1978 after 17 moves, and I improve on Planinich, who lost the game. So Planinich here played knight b6, but you'll see. Now the engine came up with a new move, rook on f to e8. Let's see if that holds. So that's a move I would never play. My move is better than, there you go. So, nah, they're equal. My move is still ahead of the other move on the move list. I don't know if that means it's like microscopically better. If they're both 0, how does it decide? It must be like fractional. So I played a theoretical novelty on move 18 against my opponent here in the blitz game yesterday. But I won the game with 23 cent upon loss. That's not bad. Alright, guys. Anyway, I just thought it's amazing that to transpose to a literal over-the-board game after 17 moves, I don't think there's a lot of chance of that happening completely randomly. This game was played in a completely different opening system. Alright. just to share that on the London system theme today. It is April Fool's Day. I thought about doing the Mora Gambit, Baba. I guess that would make you happy, but I don't really want to go there. All right. Jesse Weinberg. No games. Wrong time control. I like people to have an established rating if I'm going to accept their challenge. If you come back with 50 games or more, I will play you. Ayesta might even be a subscriber now. I can't remember. Anyway, Blobix, good morning. How are you? Good to see the Blob. Blobix, yesterday I missed your chat about playing from the woods. But you had mentioned before you had you'd gone in hibernation. D4. Knight F6. We're going to play something unusual. See, the Ayesta has to play the London system. I should really go with the theme of playing an unusual defense. The Alyekin against the London system. Very strong. This is not really a good move, so don't try it at home. I was thinking of F5. That's the problem there. I wonder if C5 is interesting. C5, E4, Knight F6, E5, Knight E4, going for his bishop pair. I'm probably in trouble there. He's rolling to center. This is not really good. We're going to counterattack. Blobix donated 1,000 bits for April Fool's stream. Every game of London system. I thought about doing the Slav defense, but that's, I don't know. Blob 1,000. Thank you. This week, Bob with the gift sub. Jim, I gotta update this. Wait a second. Jim donated 1,100. But Blobix does stay ahead of Mr. Slowhand with his donation. We got Jim with 1,100, Blob with 1,000, and Mr. Slow with 500. Also, Oms donated to support the stream. Bob, you're very close. Close to a double banning. Knight F3. What's your maximum number of streams to be banned on in one day? Objectively, I think he should probably play E4. But a lot of these London system guys, they don't feel comfortable playing E4. My knight is bad here. So don't try this at home. This is not really good what I'm doing here. You had a meltdown? That doesn't count though, like a site banning you. I mean like individual streamers have to ban you. One by one. Alright. It's not my move. It's my move. This is going a little far with the unusual opening. 95 is just a bad move. It's beyond unusual openings. I think this is just plain bad. I thought maybe I could find something worthwhile here, but it's just better for white. Don't do this. It's probably worse than the Brooklyn variation of the Aliakin's defense, because at least there, white has overextended his pawn to e5. In this case, Ayesta hasn't overextended any pawns. He just kind of gained time for development with knight f3. You like the double fianchetto against the London with d6 and e5. Yeah, I mean, I started to do that myself, but you can reach that type of setup through like 5 different move orders. Yeah, I also think that the double fianchetto is interesting, although I had a game. I have to be frank, and I do have some doubts about it. Frankly, Blevix, my last game that I played with white against the Slav London type defense, where I did that. Well, I guess the problem is that if you play e5 in that case, what ends up happening is the queen side is kind of weakened. I mean, playing the fianchetto on the queen side, it weakens a lot of squares. When you play like, b3, your weaknesses on a3, c3, all those dark squares. My last game I got in trouble because I ended up, once you play e5 like you're talking about, what ends up happening is that you ultimately reach what I feel like is basically like a King's Indian style attack. But on the queen side, the fianchetto doesn't really do anything. It's just like weaknesses. I'm not sure. I thought it would be a good idea too, but my last game was not good. Bob, it's very simple when you play the Aliakin. It's like the concept is that you lure the opponent into overextending his pawn and then you destroy it. In concept, it's very simple. If the opponent has a strong center, normally you want to trade it off and try to equalize or even gain an advantage by establishing your own center after that. So when you have an opening like you're talking about, Aliakin's defense, you're trying to get him to push his pawn up so you can trade it off, essentially destroy it. But, the question is the price that you're paying to do that. The knight usually gets misplaced. Like here I have this knight which is misplaced on b6. Another line you have the knight going back to g8, which is just not really misplaced, but just a flat out loss of time. This, I don't mind, the double pawns here. He has a lot of white square weaknesses. Bishop d7 would be a safer move. Now bishop d3. Inconsistent. If you don't castle, I don't castle. Persia Perth, is this some sort of weird? Is this some sort of weird April Fool's Day joke? That's almost as weak as the. It sounds almost as weak as the lichess new. They could have come up with a better April Fool's Day joke than this weird knight emblem. Lots of people have 6.5, a half against me over the board. Like in what? In 3-minute chess or something? Over the board, 3-minute chess? Who have I even played 7 games with? How many people have actually played 7 games against me? There's probably, I count them on one hand. And if you said like 3-0 or something, I I would possibly believe you. Libra Lufo. Chess and sense of humor. No, I mean I think that I'm bad. Subtle attack. I'm bad at April Fool's jokes too. So I shouldn't criticize. Should not throw stones if you live in a glass house. And all that. Right, Bob? Maybe bishop f6, because my bishop really doesn't have a future. Or does it? Maybe it does. His bishop could get trapped, actually. And that might have been a big mistake. In the meantime, I'm threatening e4. I almost played bishop f6, which would be okay, but it's not as good. Now I'm threatening this. Your bishop will die. Maybe he has some trick. d5? Well, I won't save his bishop on h4, though. Knight on b6 might end up being very important. Shielding my b pawn. Savior. By saving my b pawn, it wins the game. If he had queen takes b7, he's winning here. Takes a lot to make him resign. Oh no. 2-0 challenge. Alright. Morwa, Imre, and Learning Chess. 3 non-subscribers. But that's fine. We do take the subscribers first, so if you were a subscriber and you do challenge, I would take your subscription first. Alright. No draws. Yeah, Astrobate, that's amazing. 148 games with no draws. Astrobate refused He had one game where he was basically drawing and then just played like he wanted to lose. I'm going to play Imre first to warm up. I'm not fast enough to play more while yet. One more game and I'll play more while. He's super fast, so I need to wake up. All right. One more wake up game. You're a gifted sub. Oh, okay. We'll play you next. Should have spoke up more soon. Weird openings. So I was talking about this Brooklyn variation of the Alyakin. The idea is that the pawn is overextended. We'll try to counterattack that pawn. If we destroy the pawn, then he'll have wasted time advancing that pawn for 2 tempi. Basically, that's our lesson in that. F4 is probably not a bad move here. I mean, another school of thought would be to lock the structure with d5, but that hardly refutes White's opening. Looking at this recently with another player, I also thought f4 should be interesting. Of course, we could transfer to a Sicilian now because he hasn't played d4. Not truly a Sicilian, but a Sicilian type of idea. It's possible to prevent d4 directly. This is not really a hyper-modern move, clearly. Alyakin hates it too. Well, ironically, he didn't play it very often. It's even strange that it was given his name, I think. Not like Alyakin has lots of games with the Alyakin. Like he played it regularly or something. C3, a good move. This is not a good move. The H3 looks like it really radically weakens the dark squares for White there. I would think that's kind of suspicious. Still no direct way to take advantage. We want to put as much pressure as we can on the opponent's center, I guess. G6. Now he's going to come with D4. I guess I should take on E5 and play like Bishop F5. I kind of don't like taking here. Bringing his pawn more toward the center. We'll really have to do something. Get my pieces developed. Increasing his central preponderance. Yesterday I had a game with one of the players in the blitz tournament, or rapid tournament yesterday. Who was it? You have to be careful anyway about making moves like this. I'm basically bringing another pawn in toward the center. I'm losing a central pawn and bringing his pawn in. So that increases the number of pawns. He's basically got me outnumbered centrally. My problem is that I want to play e6 and I can't block my bishop. I really don't want to block my bishop that much on c8. Otherwise it's a French. It's a hybrid. This Caro-Kann and bishop takes b1. Told the story about an early tournament game I had where I tried to do that, to do queen a5 check and win a pawn on a2. Too materialistic. NGNs. Bob, have you taken your Ritalin today? He has trouble focusing on the chess. Try to tune it all out, Bob. Try to tune everything out and just focus on chess. I know it's hard. Oh no. Knight takes? No. This is a mistake. But is it? Now, I don't know about knight takes d4 because of this check on h4. Maybe that's actually not that great. Maybe he can risk it. I don't know. The other move I can play is queen d5. That actually looks fairly decent. I'm not sure about this decision to trade pawns again. Giving up my pawns in the center. I lost my d pawn, now I lose my c pawn. This started out as a hyper modern defense for black, and now it's like white has a center and I don't. Win that pawn. What pawn? I mean, ultimately I can do it. I was going to do bishop takes b1. Chances are that's an important piece for white. White square bishop controls all those squares. Look at the squares that may be controlled from b5. Without that piece on the board, white now has issues on the white squares. Okay, this is a direct attempt. Sadly, bishop e4, he has knight d2. Oof. What will I do? So we can't do that. Looks like we're just going to have to play like rook c8 or something. I mean, this is clearly a move. My rook isn't a bad... It's not a good defender. You don't really like defending pawns with rooks, but his queen is deployed to active duty attacking a pawn. I mean, okay. Your queen is out there, my rook is fine. You want to put your queen on a4. Then it doesn't have ability to the other side. You played against the Todorov. And he surprised me by playing me one-on-one and letting all other games behind. Yeah, I saw he played a simul where like everyone was 1500. Wasn't that it? Maybe he recognized that you were the only good player or something. He played 30 people in a 5-minute simul. You can't, you know, I mean, you got to play 1500s. So he realized that you were good and focused on you, which makes sense. But it looks good for the spectators. He's a strong blitz player. I admit, you know, he's got very, very good technique. I don't really like his style as a player overall. I think his openings suck. But I admit that he has very good technique. I respect that. You know, I don't really like him stylistically. I don't want to be him. I wouldn't want to be him, but I'll accept that he's good technically. We got to get our pieces developed. Okay, why is white castling? Why isn't white castling here? Why would you not castle? I don't understand. Like, seems like you have to, and it's a good move anyways. It's like, why is he not castling here? He must be disconnected, or he is connected according to the green button there. Just seems a strange position to spend 2 minutes. There's no tactics, and what's he thinking about, like taking my pawn on a7? Nothing wrong with knight c3, but he still needs to castle sooner rather than later. The bishop g5 could be an interesting move. Not anymore. Actually, he could play bishop g5 here. I have knight takes c3 now. No, not any longer. The master level in bullet. Over the board bullet. You'll find much respect from me. Can you imagine the knocking over of pieces that would take place in over the board bullet contests? It'd be like Nakamura versus Nakamura. Yeah, you can't do that. Every game would be like a scandal. You'd have like fist fights every single round. There is a slight problem here for me. I wanted to play CD, but he has queen d7. That move's just too strong. Well, he's played a fantastic positional game. Now he has a better structure. Very fundamental. Battle here over central squares too. I don't mean fantastic on the Grandmaster level, but for his rating level, very focused positional game. This is a double-edged move. F5 is probably not the safest decision. Just too much space now. Now black is solidly better, but if you go back a few moves, I thought he was doing pretty well. When he forced me to take this way, I wasn't happy, but I mean, this just allows queen d7. I didn't think I had a good move here. Okay. Bourgeois. The London system. I'm trolling myself. I hate the London system. But just for April Fools, I thought we'd throw it out there. Let's play another bad move. Knight c3. Jababa. blocking our own c-pawn. You combine two bad moves into one. Okay, so now black is just playing French style. Solid. Muy sólido. Muy sólido. Yeah. Bad opening for me. French online Super GM, don't fish. Yeah. No kidding. He's 2372 in rapid. Oh, this is blitz. Yeah, his bullet is super high. Well, he's a Super GM in bullet. He's playing over-the-board bullet matches with Jim. They meet up on weekends. Throw the pieces around. So he won the blitz tournament, the rapid tournament rather, yesterday. What am I doing? Now what? You may ask yourself. Sometimes you have to ask yourself. What's our knight doing on e2? I don't think h4 is going to fly here, but it's close. I'm being Nimzovichian today. I keep trading off my central pawns to establish pieces. He's so solid in 30 seconds for the solidness. It is a stone wall. Yeah, we have a problem here. But that's something new. I don't know, his play is insanely fast. Why don't I just resign here? It seems almost unbelievable. The 0 cent upon loss game coming up. Rook takes f6. He just played g5 pre-move. Maybe it is better to just resign here. I have no time, Jim. I can't play like bullet chess at master strength. I can't play like 2500 in bullet. I actually need to use time to find moves. What's your case, Jim? I don't understand. I just can't play this fast. I thought I'm clearly worse, but I basically resigned because I can't play that fast. I don't want to play that fast. This looks really good for black. I thought I'm pretty much like lost here, but apparently not somehow. Computer found a move. I can't play that fast. It's not... Yeah, of course it's a bad opening. I'm playing the London system. The Jabava London or whatever. That's the meme of the stream. But like here, look at this. H6. Now C5 isn't the best move. But it's a very logical move. I mean, it totally... He has to destroy my center, which he did systematically in 2 moves. Nothing wrong with C5. I think I would play that myself. Was here when I castled, he instant played G5. That's the best move according to the engine. But I mean, I would at least want to spend a few seconds on that move. He just like instantaneously. You know, most people would think at least for 1 second when they play G5. Here, this is even stronger. This concerned me as well. But according to the engine, I'm okay. I didn't like this position. Frankly, the engine thinks I'm okay. But that's the computer analyzing 19 moves deep. You know, I can't analyze 19 moves deep. My assumption is on the surface, white is almost lost in this position. Well, I have more development. His bishop's still here. I don't know. I have the F file. He's weakened himself with G5. This G5 is a serious weakening of black's king side. And he basically has one thing. He has this backward e-pawn. He's not better in any other respect, really. Just this one thing. But I can't play that fast. I can't play IM level in 1 minute chess. Alright. He just like ravaged the field yesterday, but he didn't play anyone good, except for me. He also played incredibly against me. Anyway. Alright, knight f3, d6, c4. I need to at least take a few seconds on my move. My moves. Too fast. Anyway, I don't like playing bullet chess. Feeling like I'm playing bullet chess. It's like when people rush me in the simul's. I want to actually take my time. Bill Skinner subscribed. Sorry, I was supposed to play Weird Openings. Forgot. After the last adventure, I felt like I was clearly worse with no time, and so I resigned. But I'm a little turned off by the London system there. It was actually not a London system, but it was, what's it called? The Dunst opening? Knight c3? Well, no, the Verisov. My bad. Verisov opening. Learning chess. This is kind of an obscure variation to know when you're 1200. How do you know so many openings learning chess at the 1200 level? I don't think I learned this till I was a master with black. He's playing the Ukrainian variation of the old Indian. 1200 opening expert. The London system is a meme. I think that it's a silly opening and non-critical. My normal stream on Wednesdays is weird openings, so kind of fits. Ukrainian variation, not Ukrainian Indian, but I see your point, Gigi Helis. So he played bishop g6. Most commonly, black plays bishop takes g4, no, knight takes g4. I always get confused here. This is not a good move order, though, for black. Not optimal. Now it looks like he has to take this, but h6 doesn't contribute. So he played an interesting opening but messed up the move order. Indians, the Native American defense. That's a very important piece. Totally impulsive move by black. Why do you need to give up your bishop? Oh, I guess you're lost anyway. F5? Yeah, he's lost anyway. It doesn't matter, but I mean, I don't think this contributes. Yeah, he doesn't have a good move. So ironically, knight takes g4 loses. Maybe you can play d5 now. Maybe this is the best move. d5, bishop takes d5, c6. And he doesn't have to lose a piece. Or to the exchange. The threat of bishop takes b7. This is his only chance. Luckily, my bishop defends my rook, so there's no tricks like queen h4. I can just take his knight on g4. White center is just crushing. That's the problem with this opening, actually. What typically happens is that this pawn gets overextended. And then when I did the g4, we end up like trading a g pawn for an e pawn. And then white's center is just massive. So we have a huge edge. This is a really bad version of what would normally happen. I mean, in this case, I'm just simply up a pawn in the center of the board. But even if I wasn't up a pawn, just having that many pawns in the center is crushing. Pasta programmer said, what? That is one of the nice things with playing white? Oh, you can play suboptimal moves and still enjoy an equal game. Sometimes. Not too many suboptimal moves, obviously. But one or two. Yeah. I feel like here, I mean, I am up a pawn. But I like to think I've graduated to the level where I don't, view positions based on material. It's still a factor, It will always be a key factor. Chess games. We castle queenside to enjoy the open line here. 1600-ish GMs. That's the new lichess emoticon. They've got to come up with a better joke than that for April Fools, though. I thought that whoever did that should get fired. That's just a lazy April Fool's joke. An afterthought. What are you guys talking about? 1600 Grandmasters? Well, if you're 1600, you get easier pairings in the monthly arena or whatever. That would be the purpose of that, right? King safety. $1,038 with a tournament performance rating of 2,500. Well, that's not suspicious. Oh no. Still no clear win here. Everybody join the party. That leaves the bishop out here, wondering what its purpose in life is. The favicon? Flavicon? What is a favicon? The world is going to end. I put a Hannibal Lecter meme on my Facebook yesterday. Food is going to run out, but we still have each other. I think learning chess is in trouble. This is a little easier than playing Morwa. Archidus. Archiduxus. Unicorn, the Bullet Man. DK Guy, Helis. And then 3+0 from lichess. I don't play 3+0, that's enough. We had enough of that already. Hard enough to play 3+0 without streaming. I took this player first. I'm sorry, guys. Anybody who's a subscriber, I should really take first. DK Guy and Helis. But all right, we've got time. We've got an hour and a half left. So I normally take the subscriber challenges first. I was just kidding about the London system, people. It's just a meme. I hate the London system. It's ridiculous and over-popularized. Marwa wants a rematch. Well, it wasn't really a game, you know. Was the first game against Marwa 5+3? Maybe he's challenged me to 7+3. I don't really consider it a game. He played Bullet and I let my clock run out. Maybe it's 7+3 I have a better chance against him. He does seem a little too strong for 2,000 FIDE. Alright. Now I feel like I'm playing a stronger player when I play against him, which is feels a little bit much. It's kind of not quite as scary as DK Guy, but getting there. Nimzo reversed. And we'll just castle. So now black could play knight e7, like a Rubinstein Nimzo in reverse. Yeah, that's kind of scary, DK Guy. I mean, he's like 2,000 FIDE. But he is a kid. Kids are better than 50-year-old guys in bullet chess. I guess. They're supposed to be. That's natural. Bishop takes, B takes. But I don't want to play bullet on my stream. I wasn't born with a mouse in my hand. Golden mouse. It's like a Hubner. But this is hypermodernism too. In a way, like inducing d4. Do you remember the IBM computers, the old IBM laptops with the little rubber thing? The little rubber, what do you call that? It's like a dongle. Imagine trying to play bullet with that. People probably do that. That's sick. The dongle. This is basically a Grand Prix attack Sicilian now. I think the bird's opening always seems to turn into a closed Sicilian. B3, bishop e2. I don't like it. We have too many dark square weaknesses already. If we play bishop b3, bishop e2, we're gonna be like dark square civ. The whole position will be just dark square weaknesses. It's a little too much here to try to do b3 now. You know, maybe b3 will be played. Will get played at some point. Yes. Yes. What about my knight? A4. Do I have to go here? Do I have to go to e2? Can I go to e2? e2 is the worst square for my knight. But it keeps pressure on d4. And I thought that stops him from playing c4 or discourages. If he plays c4, though, he might be able to try that. I would very seriously think about this right now, because he's very close to Christopher Lutz versus Fritz at this point. There was this game in Germany in like the early 90s where the German grandmaster just like humiliated the computer by doing this doing this to it. Like, it's got that bishop on c8, and the engine just doesn't understand, you know. Like, it doesn't understand that bishop on c8 is, it's never coming out practically. The track point, that's it. A track point. My first laptop was the IBM ThinkPad back in like 1991. That was the word I was looking for. Trackpad. No, is it a trackpad? No, a trackpad is the pad. I'm sorry. What is that little dongle called? The little eraser thing. I know what a trackpad is. Bob, is that really the technical name for it? I trust you, believe me. Track point nub. The one bright red button known as the track point nub. There was nothing like playing. I had an external mouse when I had that thing, but a USB, like, I'm not, no, whatever, not a USB, before USB, or when USB ports were just not even existing. Yeah, no, I couldn't do the nub. That wasn't cool. Astrobate is like straight out of South Park. He said nub. The sun is starting to shine here in Budapest, Hungary. Starting to shine. We had the random Kyle. For times like this. GG Helis. Precisely for times like this. Actually, Archie Duxus did a really good job of staying alive here. John Travolta could not do better. I think you have to just play f5. You have to play f5. That would have been the key to the life of the bishop on c8. Your bishop lives no longer. f5 was the gutsy move. Okay, it's still not easy for me to win. Maybe I can't win. Maybe the position will be too blocked. But I was very concerned about black playing f5 here. I have to be careful. Maybe I have another good move, like knight e5 or something, without doing the standard reaction of g takes f, e takes f, e5. He has bishop e6, bishop e5. If that bishop gets in there, I'm going to be sorry. But this doesn't look right. Actually, not so easy to punish. Punisher. I think the sun must be blinding our stream right now. Not quite. We're almost there. King F7, man. I can't play pawn takes pawn. It'll bring his bishop into the game. What am I doing? What am I doing? This is terrible. He made me go crazy. This is just an insane, unsound concept. But the sun is distracting me. Yes, of course. Pawn takes f5. Wow. I just sacrificed the pawn for nothing. Good job. This doesn't work at all. Now I'm nearly lost. What's the increment for this game? Oh, 5 plus 2. You tricked me. Archie tricked me with the 5 plus 2. I thought it was 5 plus 3. That's why I'm almost losing on time. You're not supposed to do that. The time control here is 5 plus... Dude. You cheated. Archie cheated with the time control. This sunlight is all over my computer. What are we going to do? We have to move. It's the only choice. We will have to move. And you don't see the sun. It's even worse on my screen. There's no good place. The whole room is just getting blinded. That's a little better. All right. Archie snuck me with the 5 plus 2 time control. I was like, why? Where's my increment? You know, halfway through the game. But you totally played King F7, and I just didn't know what to do. This is sick. King F7. What a move. Sorry, I couldn't come up with anything here. This is like waving the red flag in front of the bull. What is King F7 about? I was just like totally stymied. I mean, I would understand if you played like e5, closed the center, and then played King F7 and started running away, but it's like King F7 before the center is closed. It just melted me mentally. I didn't know what to do. This just drove me crazy. I didn't know what to do here. Knight h4, knight f4. Well, knight f4 is the most obvious move, but the problem is he closes, you know, he just closes the center. And the engine says I'm better by 2, but really? Like, are you going to be able to open this position? It's all fine and good for Stockfish to claim on +2 here. But there's like no break. It might be like, okay, I mean, eventually I can do h4 and g5, but there's no guarantee that I'm winning. Unicorn All right, subscribers, DK Guy, Helus. Thank you guys for subscribing. So I'm sorry about the sunlight. It's a really, really nasty glare. I don't know what to do. It's almost no way to block it. It's the smallest sliver of light that it makes it look like. Forget it. Doesn't matter. The important thing is the screen. GG Hillis, is someone else subscribed to you? Oh, you got a gift sub. Play you next. So DK Guy. Right. No, I mean, Stockfish overestimates every position, pasta programmer. And you can basically cut its evaluations in half. But maybe more so with the closed games like that. Yeah. Agreed. I look like I'm underwater or something now with a sparkly stream. Sparkle horse. Well, I'm sure the engine would have really creative ways of like sacrificing pieces and stuff that I wouldn't find. I look like I'm underwater. Gonna be underwater in a second here. DK Guy actually used a few seconds. He's not that intensely competitive. Like some people. I'm just disappearing almost. This is really weird. Alright. Like I was saying this the other day, the Rady is just hopeless. No chance of getting an advantage with the Rady opening. 0. That's why you have to play the Catalan, I guess. Catalan only chance if you want to play white with knight f3, g3. Now it's too late for even the Catalan. But actually, what choice do I have? Now he's going to play d4. If I allow d4, I could even be worse. Castles, d4, e3. That's okay for white. I guess I could hold off for one more move. But once he's supporting it with like knight c6, this becomes a very serious threat. I mean, even d4 isn't that bad for black. Here. Unusual move order. This is not a pure Rady move order. I would just play knight c6. Now my best is probably to take and play whatever. Position is equal. This is hardly an unusual opening, DK Guy. Thank you for your cooperation. I played 1b3 and the guy transposes me to the Rati. How did that happen? But all people like you, with your e6 systems, should be banned from chess. This e6, it's almost as bad as the London system with white. Every time I play knight f3, the other guys just go e6 every single game. e6, d5, e6, d5, e6, d5. Is there any other way to play chess? Can you put a knight on f6 on move 1 or something? No. No Indian defense for these guys. That's all they do. e6, d5, e6, d5. But at least DK Guy. Yeah, DK Guy would probably be a tough player to play and over the board for me. I have this 2100 in Hungary that I've had trouble with. The last 3 times we played over the board, he does the same thing. e6, d5. He's like a 2150, probably about the same strength as DK Guy. Every time it's so solid. I have 1.5 out of 3. I should have a very dominating score against someone over 200 points lower rated. Makes you just not, I want to give up playing knight f3 on move 1. Go back to playing e4 or d4. Knight f3 is weak. It's so passive for white. The glare. Looks like it's, oh, it's great now. Yeah, we're right on the camera. All right. Hey, man. Can you pass the bong? It's so funny how the sunlight moves across the... It's like a sundial on my laptop. You can tell time. We're trying to play unusual openings, but we ended up in a really standard kind of position here. Classic IQP. You know me, Bob. Man, just come in. Come on into the e4 square. But he's done it to, you know, he's done it to me with that a6 move, taking away b5. My knight has no other squares. I've discussed this in many different positions. The problem with the knight on c3, interfering with the rook along the c file, interfering with the bishop on the long diagonal. Yeah, it's like dry ice. We've got the dry ice stream. Bishop f6, no. I don't want to give up my bishop. I think I was planning knight d4 now. Basically a tarash. Highlighting the weakness of my knight on a4, perhaps. Also this. Well, rights, white should be better here, but maybe not. Maybe not. I guess it's kind of like playing the Grunfeld with white. These type of lines. I mean, if he smashes the structure with bishop takes a4 at some point, that's probably playable for both sides. He would give up a bishop to damage my pawn structure slightly. I'm not that worried about it. Knight takes c6 here. The important thing is blockading the d4 square. fake threat. Not really threatening anything. Uh-oh. That wasn't a good idea. He had this tactic, guys. Basically, anytime I try to play knight takes c6, a6, he has bishop b5. It's going on behind the scenes, a lot of action in this game. So I'm sidestepping that. Knight takes a6 tactic with this move. This is a classic slight edge for white. How to make progress. Are we winning the d5 pawn? I wish that were the case. But I'm not sure. Like, even if I take the d5 pawn, if I just get pinned, I could play like e4 or something. Bishop takes d5, queen moves. Gotta be able to take this. Still pinned. I'm not sure queen e3 is even a good move. Objectively, I don't know even if that's a good move. I don't know a lot of things. I should have taken with the e-pawn, created a passer. It was much better chance than this. Could have played rook takes e5 there. Yes. I have no threats here. Oh yeah. You could have played king e7 there. It would indeed be difficult. Stalemate. Stalemate. Rookie games are fun. Still no stalemate. Never a stalemate. He had rook takes e5. Okay, it should be a draw. That ending. 4. When he settled for queen takes d5, I'll move 20, let's see, move 33. Rook takes e5. I have to play queen takes c6 and an ascending, which should be a draw, but it's a draw. It's probably a draw. Rook a7. It should be draw. It's not fun, not a fun draw. Okay. Anyway. Helis is also a subscriber. Then we'll play the Bullet King. But we have 7 minutes to try to beat him. So that'll at least be a reasonable chance. Yeah, DKK, thank you. Interesting game. Alright, right, knight f6. That's not the London system. You have to play the London system every single game. Just kidding, guys. It's just a joke. You know how much I hate the London system. I want to teach Asterbate to play the Vulture. Let's play a Benoni. This is actually not an unusual opening. How can we make it unusual? We'll play some sort of weird move now. What can we do? Okay, b5 is like the main line. e6 is a move. g6 is a move. It's already in reverse. So if you want to get creative here with black, it's not really easy to do that. Asterbate will play d6. Other moves. We're trying to play the old Indian. No, the Czech Benoni. My bad. Czech Benoni, old Indian. You can also play a Schmid Benoni this way with like g6, bishop g7. I mean, very standard. Larson, one of DK Guy's countrymen. The Bent Larson. Of course, like to play Schmid Benoni. It's pretty passive. Now I'm turning into a Czech Benoni with e5 in honor of Asterbate, one of our most faithful followers here. This is his favorite opening. One of them. So, however, I mean, in this move order, we can still try to play a sort of King's Indian with g6. Czech Benoni with g6. Honestly, what I was taught was that white should play knight c3 instead of c4 when we walked uphill both ways to school in the prehistoric times. Chess Encyclopedia considered knight c3 much stronger than c4. I mean, I don't know. Stockfish doesn't really agree. You know, it's interesting. The all-seeing microchip bot thinks that like c4 is better. But this goes back to the argument. So h3 is a good move. Back to the argument about computers. Not evaluating closed positions well, perhaps. This is a rope-a-dope King's Indian now. The line between the King's Indian and the Benoni is kind of blurred. And all right, a3. So f5, take, knight takes e5, drops a pawn for me. That's very important. And I can't play queen e8 without losing my d6 pawn. Maybe it's a good way to get my knight to e8 here. Then my queen will have problem using that square. It's a really dubious kind of King's Indian. Andy Soltis, in his book Confessions of a Chess Grandmaster, which I recommend, he talks about a lot of his adventures in the King's Indian, trying to play such positions. Soltis was an excellent, I mean, he's still alive, but he doesn't play actively. He was an excellent King's Indian player. Excellent. Once I saw him live, just absolutely killing this player. The one tournament where I saw him, he was still playing. Not a high-rated grandmaster, but he was excellent with the King's Indian. Also the Dragon. Kind of like an American Pereni Bela. Surprised he didn't play the Benoni. If you play the King's Indian, you have to play the Benoni, actually, as a matter of fact. Alright, bishop c2. So f5. I think if f5, white can take on f5. Sack a piece here. What would Mamedyarov do? I wonder about knight e8. Migration to the other side. Coordinate the forces. Now we're going to sacrifice a piece. Double piece sacrifice. Knight takes g2. Roman Djigiashvili did that to me. He sacked the knight on g2 against me in a rapid game once. Very disheartening. It hurts when they sacrifice pieces on g2. That's the base of your pawn chain. It's not sound. Knight t3 is a great move. Yeah, I'm unconvinced by it, to be honest. By now you would have sacrificed on h3 or g3. It's coffee house. Coffee house chess at its best. I can't justify it. I could do it and try to slime my opponent, but it really shouldn't work. Stefanos Kappa, thanks for joining us. Guys, I'm streaming till 1:30. We have a time for a couple more games. I'll play Stefano Scappa because he has a subscriber. Morwa has been waiting. Pasta programmer. I don't know about more than that. That looks like probably the games we can get to for today. Queen F3. So Helis refusing to give in. Just refusing to give in. Great move, Queen F3. G5. Just ugliness. So I don't really have much. I'm not sure. This lever gives us a little bit of initiative. But the time is outrageously in White's favor. It's very frustrating when you spend a lot of time and you think a lot and your opponent can just make instantaneous moves. That's why I was frustrated in the earlier game. I resigned. So trying to trade queens, that's the thing about that is that he might put his queen on a kind of unnatural square. Plus the damage to the pawn structure might be worth looking into. I think it's not a bad move though. Probably queen g3 is okay. I should think about avoiding the exchange of queens, but then he can play like f4 maybe. b4 is much more standard. Queenside expansion. Excellent play by White. He's 2043 in standard. Played like Victor Frias or something. Very, very solid. I remember losing in the King's Indian against Frias. Similar structure. Better version than this even for White. Now, I can't play almost any good moves. Black doesn't have any really constructive moves. I can't play bishop d7 because of rook b7. He doesn't play like he's 1800. Much stronger. I mean, 1800s make bad moves, Helis. You don't have any bad moves. You've not made any bad moves. Maybe we could argue about knight e1. Maybe some inaccuracy in the opening. Fortunately, he can't play f4. I think f4 would be a good move if it was playable. This knight will drop. We're not going to get any more challenges, guys. I've only got 45 minutes left, and we have at least three games already, so don't anybody else challenge. I want to remind everyone that I host a stream on Thursday nights. Oh, this move. Wow, dude. Bishop g5. I host a stream on Thursday nights. Subscriber stream with game analysis. And those who are subscribers can submit a game of theirs, or any game, actually, to analyze together here on my stream. Thursday night, 6:30 CET, tomorrow night. European time, European summertime. A5, bishop A6. I don't want to move my A pawn. It would weaken the beast. It will weaken the. I don't know what this does. I have no threats here. Oh my god. What? Wow. What a crazy move. I had this like really cool plan and he found one of the only ways to prevent it. That's crazy. I seriously don't think he's 1800. Wow, there he missed queen e6 though. That was like pivotal. Queen e6 was changing the valuation. Maybe better for white. But he's no 1800. I don't have any sort of threat. Even now. Okay, now. Finally, he made a mistake. It's like an epic game. Now it's just like overwhelming. Reminded me of a rapid game I played earlier this week against a player who was maybe in the 2000s. But seriously, I mean, until that blunder just a few moves ago, I mean, he was still really competitive here. I missed something. I missed something with rook takes d3. Computer's giving me a huge edge here, even though I'm up no material. That's massive. 3.4. No pawns up. It's the H pawn. Good game. Alright, I'm gonna play more Wa and then I'll try not to lose on time. Then Stefanos, Impasta Programmer. He's playing e4. That's normal. Okay. So he's like insane. 2600 in bullet. I don't play this opening normally. So now I guess c3 might be a good move. But players prefer not to play with the knight on f3 oftentimes. I mean, he's even stronger than me in the opening. He's not supposed to know any opening theory. He knows more than I do. Yeah, I don't normally play this. I don't know, bishop f5 or bishop g4? Bishop g4, queen b3? I guess bishop g4 is okay here. Probably normal to play bishop g4. Queen c7. No, I don't know. Maybe bishop f5 is problem. He's used no time. The bullet chess is too much. He can't play dynamically here with opposite side castling or something. I don't know why he can't take his time and play normal chess. The problem with this position is that in endgames I can be in trouble because of his queenside majority. That's the one problem with this variation. If you play the Caro-Kann with e takes f, you have to constantly be worried in endgame that you might lose a king and pawn endgame. If this was a king and pawn endgame, I would be lost. A2 is hanging, but I mean, bishop looks trappable. It's also a really greedy move. Whoops. But now I've got to watch out for c4, d5. It's like a Hoover, vacuum cleaner, Dyson. What's your favorite vacuum cleaner? Hoover or Dyson? which one? Does Hoover still exist? How about G4? I don't understand why you want to play a bullet game in 7+3 time control. Is it to be cool, or are we trying to be macho, to look stronger? Why not take the time to play better moves? This is what my constant refrain is on the stream. Over and over and over, I'm talking about this. Why can't we take our time? So the d5 looks like a bad move, actually. Now it's equal. Maybe better than equal. I have knight b6. How's that calculate? Now there's a problem. He would have had queen a5 if knight b6, queen a5, rook takes c4, rook takes c4, queen takes c4, queen a7. It's nothing. Guys, I'm here for another half an hour, so we should have time for 2 more games. Thanks for those of you who do subscribe to the stream. B5? B5 only helps him create a passed pawn, I think. Just equal. Equal game. Rook e1, he instantly found the best move. And then instantly takes with the knight. I guess he has to. That's easy. Easy decision. Taking with the knight there. It's really annoying, you know, to face someone who's supposed to be 200 or 300 points lower than you, and they can play twice as fast as you and as good. It's scary to think if he actually took his time, how good he would be. He has a check now, starting on e8. My knight on e4 is excellent. If he plays f3, he weakens his king position. Queen b6. Queen c2. Queen c5. Queen c2. And then b5. I'm not better though. You know, it's just like I'm realistically not better. I expected him to play b3 and then queen c3, take. And I would have knight e2 check and knight c1. Maybe. Maybe a3 is a better move. It's embarrassing at this point. He doesn't even think about his moves. He just makes them instantaneously, or they're processed instantaneously. I mean, the whole variation hinged on him taking on b5. He didn't even think about it. How did he know not to take on b5 there? Or at least consider it. See, check. Yeah, check. Dangerous. You could sack a knight. B takes A, queen c1 check. King h2, queen f4 check g3, queen takes f3, and now a7. And he's probably winning. I'm sure he saw that. Shit, I had knight f2 at the end of that line. Then he would have queen takes f2, that's a draw. He would also have king g1. Wait, h4 check. Well, now we have this. But I have no winning chances. White is just better. White was never worse. Very much in this game. I have 14 seconds. No winning chances. I don't think I ever had an advantage. Maybe something like 0.2 at the most. That's a really dangerous move, actually, to play king h3. I think I should probably have g5 now and win. Am I winning after g5? He is perpetual. Anyway, so look at this. I expect the center pawn loss to be very low for both sides. So we left book. I don't know why. His move c3 is very rare, but it's odd because there's nothing wrong with it. Strange. I don't know what's wrong with c3. It's an extremely logical move. Extremely okay for white. White is better, white is better, white is better. White is better, white is better, white is better. Black is still worse. Rook e1. Now finally I'm better for some reason here, but I don't really know why. It's an illusion. He has a queenside majority in this position. I'm not really better. Knight d5. Maybe this was my chance to go for a rampage with knight f4, knight e2. That was my only chance. Rook c2. So I was slightly better. But I'm getting dangerously close to a lost king and pawn game here as we get more and more pieces off the board. If we trade the queens and knights off, I resign. You know, that's the problem with this type of structure. A3 was like unbelievable. Because if B3, I thought I had this. He saw that or what? Like most people would have played B3 there. Man, I would have actually traded into that knight end game. But he finds A3. He still has 4 minutes left. It's impressive. Not to play that. Now here, I don't know, at the end, apparently even king h3 is okay. Because he has perpetual. If I try to play g5, he still has perpetual check. So he's never really in danger there at the end. Good game. Last games. I don't think I'm going to have time for those last two guys, but thank you for challenging me. These last two games against Stefanos and Pasta Programmer, I can afford to play today. I have to go record a chess video. Okay, e takes f Caro-Kann isn't a really good idea for playing for a win with black. Double fianchetto. In honor of Jim. Blobix, actually, mentioned the double fianchetto today. Not Jim. My last opponent's time use is incredible, though. It's scary to think how strong he would be if he actually took his time. He's got something like 14,000 bullet games. But better to invest that time into a serious study rather than bullet. The Twin Towers. Acerbate's been reading The Lord of the Rings. Twin Towers opening. Is that what it's called? Guys, we have this subscriber stream on Thursday, so if you'd like to submit a game for our analysis, trying to find my... Where's my list of players for Thursday? Okay, so Bob, Asser, and Yabadas so far. We have confirmed. The Twin Towers. No pawn moves. Now what happens if e4, knight d4, knight e5, then knight e6, bishop e6, bishop e5? What if bishop d6 here? Maybe d4 is interesting. Acerbate, I'm going to need to consult with you on this. I'm not playing knight g1. Knight h4 loses a piece. So it's either knight e5 or knight d4. But knight d4 looks problematic. I think we're okay with knight e5 in this instance. Not a lot of retreat squares for our knight. Be careful. Bone atrophy, welcome. Well, you can send your own games, other interesting games to analyze if you want to. Position, opening. I'm flexible. That's what one of my opponents said to me after we had a game. Long think, wrong think. Acerbate. I wonder who that's attributed to. Obviously, Marwah's inspiration. The player who said that to me is actually a really good blitz player. So okay, it's as if I played 95, or as if I played d4 and 95 if I played d4 here, but f4 is dubious. We need to put pressure on his center, but we don't have a lot of pressure to put. Black is better here. Man. He's probably slightly better. I'm scared of d3, e3, followed by knight g4. My knight is nowhere to be seen, so I have to try c4. Process of elimination works wonders in chess. The other option would have been to play d4 here, like a weird modern defense French. This is our Bent Larsen motif. We're lagging in development a little bit. I don't want to end up like Larsen against Spassky. That was a b3 opening. Larsen's most famous loss against Spassky was like a nightmare. Just an absolute nightmare. Here we're putting as much pressure as we can on the opponent's center. So knight c3 seems best. But I actually think black is better. The argument would be about whether this is overextended, but I don't think he's really overextended. You can make a case for that, but I don't think it's valid. I think white gave black too much space here. Black is slightly better. We have to be very careful. The theme of the openings, weird openings today, thus the double fianchetto attack. The pawn structure gives us some interesting possibilities, a blockade type strategy like in the Winnower French with maybe c5 at some point becomes an option. I could play queen c2, knight a4, c5, bishop d4, and then castle queenside. So I don't necessarily have to castle kingside. Now I'm concerned, okay, if I play queen c2, bishop f5. Under no circumstances I'm going to let him play like d3, e3. Queen c2 is interesting. I have another idea with that. This is actually multi-purpose move. We have pressure on e4, mobilize castling queenside, but we also have pressure along the c file. And that's probably the most pivotal thing for white here. I also like delaying castling. Then he doesn't know where to attack. If you castle too early, the guy could start throwing his h-pawn at you. Now like h5 would be kind of a questionable decision. Playable, but is it really appropriate to do that when I haven't even castled kingside? So I'm threatening a sort of positional idea here. Castles queenside, I don't know. I'm not necessarily going to castle queenside, but in a special circumstance I would. As I said, if I could block the center and blockade, you can castle queenside like in a winnower. Welcome to the stream, guys. Please support the stream. If you can donate or subscribe. No, I'm sorry to disappoint, guys. We're not really playing the London system. I did play it in a game or two, but I hate the London system. It's lame. That was my April Fool's Day joke. So this is what I thought he would do. You know, if he had more time, he could set up e3, discovered attack on my queen. First of all, maybe I should consider castle and king's side. I also just fixed his pawn structure. My plan was, it might be a bad plan. The plan was this. It's not really a plan, it's kind of a one-move threat, but it does the job. Because that dark squared bishop is extremely strong, and I've discussed this idea earlier in the stream. The knight on c3 is always getting in the way of the c-file, it's getting in the way of the bishop on the long diagonal. Also, common problem in the... We did the same thing with knight a4 against DK Guy earlier. Misplaced knight. This is a plan. A one-move plan involving, Alms, welcome, involving attacking this, opening the diagonal, and attacking that valuable bishop on d6. So interesting decision by Stefanos. I actually missed this. Pretty obvious move. Now if I were to let him, he could just retreat his bishop away. And then my knight is really doomed. So here again we can focus on... Actually, maybe it's not so simple. If I were to play like rook c8, if he plays bishop f8, I can play bishop f6. He would have to take... He would have to take with a... He could take with the queen if he wanted to sack him exchange. Anyway. We should be castling at some point here. Trading pieces is a good thing. But black still seems to be better with the open... with the big center here. We're not putting very much pressure on that center. This is going to really shut me down. This bishop a3, I don't like it. Lack of focus. Castle's d4. Rook c8. A developing move. We have to get out of here. And I'm thinking about taking on that knight. Maybe that's unnecessary. f3. Castles. Castles d4. f3. That's not really good. Castles d4, f3, pawn takes pawn, queen takes f5, pawn takes g2. Ugh. Before it gets really ugly, I'm going to get out of here. Maybe I'm not worse. He doesn't have that many pieces left to attack with. And I actually can play breaks, maybe d3. Queen c3 is an interesting move. Inducing d4. He's looking at e3, d3. Black is better. Large advantage for black. plus 0.6. I'm curious about the last position. Computer doesn't like my rook c1. It's okay. Rook c1. But should I play bishop f6? The engine concurs. My space is very limited, and if I allow d4, I'm gonna suffer. If you allow d4 here, it might turn out that that knight is actually stronger than the bishop. How many games do I have for tomorrow? Just 3. What's this hate mail here? Someone unsound. That is not a submission. We've got 3 games, Jim, only that I know of. Home office. Plan aborted. We're all right. I mean, basically, when you play g3, b3, my advantage was 0.6 negative on move 2. I mean, seriously. The engine doesn't like e5 or what? I don't know. You know, I think the game was correct. It was a correct game. All right, last game against Pasta Programmer. Thank you for having more than 50 games. Pasta Programmer sent some constructive sort of comments to the stream, which I appreciate. We don't get enough of those. So last game for today, win or lose. Well, I don't really play the Trompowsky, so we'll try that. For me, that's a weird opening. I play against the Trompowsky, but I don't play it myself. So, here we go. This is actually a weird dunst opening line. Is queen b6 just like winning? Or is that a trap? Probably a trap. Greedy move to play queen b6. That looks dangerous for black, actually. You could try it if you want to. This is the main line. The Linkspringer. This is an actual variation. I don't think it's very good for white, though. I'd probably play this position with black in blitz. No clue. I would think we should unpin potential bishop b4 things. It's like a Sicilian kind of. But I think the placement of the queen on h4 is a bit odd. Of course. Now, if we ever have to play bishop takes f6, we need justification. I never had that book called The Linkspringer on the dunst opening. That's very good, by Keel Hack. It's like 20 years old now, but it was a very complete book about all the variations involving knight c3 on move 1. This is like a featured variation in there, probably. I have no idea like what we're supposed to do next. Okay, the main point is that h6 isn't really a threat. But even so, I really don't know what white's plan is. If d5, e4, if h6, we don't have to move our bishop. I guess, that's another question. Should white play e3 or e4? Jim, we appreciate it if you want to submit a game for tomorrow. Astabe, what's that? I thought you already submitted a game. Guys, I have to go shortly. Thanks everybody for supporting the stream. Please donate and subscribe. Check out my YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube. Last game for today. Have a great April Fool's Day. Enjoy the new lichess icon. Caster Cito. Speaking of bullet friends, the guys, I don't understand grandmasters who are into bullet chess either. We've played, I probably lost any blitz games I played against him years ago. Not many though, maybe one or two. I don't think I played him much. I don't really recall. I'm sure I got paired with him once or twice on ICC. He was incredibly fast. That's all I remember. He won a lot of bullet tournaments even back in the day, or blitz tournaments online. Specialist in blitz rather than over the board. Kind of an average over the board grandmaster, but especially good at blitz. Was the impression that I got. And I saw Jim, did you play? You played a Caro Khan or something? What did you play against him in the simul? Queen a5 is an interesting move. Putting pressure on my a2 pawn. Getting off the d file. French Tarash. Maybe I didn't see it. I thought I looked at it. I really don't know what my plan is here. I wasn't even threatening e5. Does look like a Sicilian. It's a weird opening for me. Strange. It's turned into a very strange, like, Moscow variation, or what's it called, checkover variation of the Sicilian. Rouser-esque. Maybe I should take with the bishop. I mean, this could actually transpose to a checkover now. But my queen is just bizarrely placed on h4. We're threatening nothing. King b1 is a good prophylactic move. Standard. I'm not even threatening knight d5, I don't think. Now e5. Bishop takes f3. Pawn takes f6. Not really a good idea. Frankly, this looks slow too. But I was afraid to open the position with e5, thinking that his bishops would be better. But this is probably the right move to play e5 there. I actually looked at e5, bishop takes f3, e takes f6. And I thought I was okay. It's a mind-boggling, complicated position. But I was unconvinced that after e5, d takes e5, knight takes e5. I should have gone for that, though. That looks better. This is uninspiring. Bishop h6, pawn h6, queen h6. Interesting, dubious. I'm about to lose on time. I don't like my position. What's the actual evaluation? You have 95 now. You didn't have it before with the bishop on d2. I was looking at this. You know, that's no problem. I could just move my queen. Actually, I have better moves. So here after queen c5, you actually have this. It's pretty obvious. Actually, this is protected by the knight on d5. I mean, hard to find with no time. Amazingly, I could sack my queen. Wow, that's nuts. Sack my queen here, and then try to trap your queen. That actually loses the exchange. No, I didn't like this position. I've already done something wrong. e4. So I'm supposed to play e4. Maybe it doesn't matter. But exchanging right away. I was actually concerned your rook comes to c8 and you take with a rook on c6 here. I thought I could play e5. I hope this isn't a miscalculation. Because this variation was for me the most interesting one. I actually like that. Perhaps it's nothing, but I thought you would just take on e5. e5, de5, and then I didn't know. Rook takes looks awkward. So I have to play knight takes e5. This is extremely dangerous, of course. But black is solid. No, I think my evaluation was good. You know, white isn't. This is actually the best move, surprisingly. Bishop d2 is the best move. For some reason, I didn't see knight b3. I think I didn't see my pawn was protected on f2. Strange. I would have played knight b3 if I had realized. Position is just like equal. Yeah, good game. All right, guys, gotta go. Thanks everybody for joining me. We've got a game for Thursday. It's set at 6:30 CET on Thursday. So Jim, you're in. We've got room for more games if you want to submit your subscriber to the stream. Please send me a game for Thursday to analyze here live. Thanks everybody for playing and for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Bye-bye for myself and the Panda. Happy April Fool's Day. Whew, couldn't breathe. Bye-bye.